Namaskar, Prat. Thank you
Yes,
so much
yes,
for being
Shri.
here again today. So grateful for your presence.
Yes,
I've been always wanting to hear from you and learn from you. So
yes,
again, a lot of questions. Would like to
yes,
know from you as to what you feel about these events that are happening right now, especially looking at the way Bhudevi is responding to with fury. And
yes,
is it something related to the way we refuse to evolve? And
yes,
the current events that are going on, how do we
yes,
understand that? How do we develop a kind of a reverence for higher beings like Bhudevi, like the
yes,
grahas? How to
yes,
develop that relationship? If you could just enlighten us on that.
yes, yes. The thing is that, like, once you are on this plane, like whenever somebody's born into this plane, you're born here. Like, okay, now when if you find that you are surrounded by, like, on this plane, the thing which we call nature. Okay, you're surrounded by the sky, the trees, the ground. Like you're surrounded by. So what is commonly known as nature, that one word, under that one word, nature, prakriti in Sanskrit and nature in English. Okay, so prakriti is the actual word. So that is what any being who takes birth here finds itself surrounded by. Okay, so once you're surrounded by that, then you have to automatically first have some set sort of, you know uh, like, reverence for it, because it is encompassing you everywhere. It is below you, is above you, is on this side of you, it's on that side of you, it's in front of you, it's behind you. Okay, it's all around you, like Tim saying, it's encompassing you completely. Okay, so, like, if you're rebelling against that, you know then you are basically in for a little bit of trouble already. you know so, but if you notice all over the earth, like in the recent times, like whatever, last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and like even 100 years, like, people have not had much respect for nature, or like wanting to connect with nature, or like, a lot of the beings that don't have that in the first place. And even though beings who do things in nature, they're not doing it in a reverential kind of way. you know they're just trying to dominate it more. you know
Yeah, but like
like
when you say
that.
when you go for a hike, you want to climb the
Yeah,
mountain and be
yeah,
on top
yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's like trying to dominate. That's the approach. Which then automatically will stop the nurturing aspect from nature. You are like that towards it, then it would not nurture you, right? That's that's just a normal thing. So, like, that is a basic, what I'll call a basic form of reverence to something which is all around you. Okay, so that's the most basic core sort of thing for a being, like, a which is so basic and core that has to come first. Okay, like, because if you start from that, then obviously, then if you're reverential towards it, you're like, if you have the right body language, right attitude, right everything towards that, then obviously you will learn how to deal with more other higher beings. Okay, then those come into play in that first beings, which is important for a being here, is beings which teach you how to be reverential. Okay, which teach you how to have a proper behavior, teach you, like, which is called guru in Sanskrit. Okay, like, in English, teacher is not the right actual, I think, but the guru, like the real guru, means which tells you how to raise yourself or how to evolve. Okay, you know so then you have to have respect towards that being, because that's a being. This is not a figment of the imagination. All the things I'm talking about here are not figments of, it's not, there's not like some deity sitting somewhere. Like, this is actual things around you. Like, this earth is around you, the sky is around you, this ground is around you. Same way, there's a being which knows more than you. Okay, and is like the earlier times, like, even beings, all them, they used to go to gurukuls, and rishis were there, and they told them how to be, how to take care of their body, like what to do with their body, what to do, how to pay reverence, and all these things, learning, centered speech, everything, all of that. So whosoever is teaching you that, okay, so you need a respect for that. Okay, because, so, like, if you don't have respect for either the nature which surrounds you, or the being which is teaching you, okay, the correct things, then obviously things will, you cannot progress any further. So my point is, I think for people out here, they should do these things first before going to deities and stuff at all anyways, because it's very dangerous to jump to deity straight, okay, and ignore this, and no deity will actually partake of any such that thing if you are ignoring these.
It's right there all around
Yeah,
you all the
yeah,
time.
and like, I mean, deities are not like, they should not be thought to be like dumb or retarded, or they can see what you're doing, they know what you are in, and you are disrespecting that, okay, and then why would they take your prayers or whatever people call that, or like which I call, they will not, okay, because so there is no, like, that's why when beings start directly straight away to different deities, whatever they might be in different parts of the world, you know, to directly connect with them, that's why it does not work. I'm just telling you why it does not work. It does not work because you're not taking the basic steps first, okay, because you don't know how to connect anyways, and then you're not ready to learn either. And if someone teaches you, you are being disrespectful to them, okay, you don't know how to be. So that way, that's why, like, without the Bhudevi and the Guru, you cannot access. It is written in Vedic things very clearly, the deities, you know, without having all those basics in place, okay, because finally that is a check, like, because that being exists, Guru exists, it's an actual being. Now how to deal with them eventually, that is a practice in itself, right? Okay, so if you can't do that practice, you know, what is that thing of deities or any such thing, you know, it is like, it is a jump which a lot of people take straight, you know, but I'm just telling why it is not successful, that because you are ignoring what is around you itself. And like I said, like, this place earth was meant for, this plane is meant for evolution, and that's what beings are here to do, you know, that's their main job, you know, it's their job, you know, like people talk about what is your job, like, you know, people think they have all these kind of different jobs around here, but none of those are the job is to take yourself higher, evolve, and get out of the cycle of birth and death. That is the job, okay, okay, but if beings are not using this plane for that, okay, so then obviously your staying here becomes like, it's in jeopardy basically. You're staying here, you know, it's like you're not paid the rent and you know, your stay here comes under that thing. So people can devise all kinds of plans for that, like, you know, like they're going to be, but nothing can actually pay for that except the reverence for where you are, that it is allowing you the opportunity to stand somewhere, okay, you're standing on somewhere right now, that's why you are able to do anything, because earth is holding you, otherwise you'll just fall, right? And if you're just falling, you can't focus on anything. Only when you're standing and stable can you do anything, right? So having this sort of mindset, that is reverence, okay.
Absolutely. And even the
Okay,
nights, looking at the planet, the grahas, connecting with them, they control us every
grahas
second.
I don't want people to go to at all.
Just first the basics of Bhudevi and
Yeah,
higher beings around.
yeah, first, like, okay, you're standing somewhere, okay, if you didn't have a place to stand, okay, like a ground to stand on, you will just fall, okay. So like a lot of people, when they're like falling from a parachute or sky, like when they do skydiving or something, you will find that it's very hard to actually do anything or think when you're falling, okay. You really can't do anything, you know, you can't focus on anything, you can't that thing. So like when something has given you a, like a ground to stand on, so being grateful for that, that is, you know, that is reverence, like that is the beginning Okay. So unless you are going into these steps, like grahas and stuff should not come into play at all. Okay. You have to go like very step by step. You know. So and that, who is teaching that? A being will teach that, because like either you have this already in you and you already always feel like that or think like that, but if you don't, then somebody has to tell you this thing, right? So whosoever tells you is the guru.
So having the
Whosoever
right.
tells you this, what I have told, is the guru. Then first you have to have the reference to the guru. If you don't, then the Bhudevi will not accept the reference either, because that's where you learned it from.
Yes, 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 absolutely.
I mean, it's all logical. Like, I mean, yeah. So that's how you start. Okay. Like I've been allowed to stand, so I'm going to do the right thing. And then from there only you'll get to this point that, okay, I'm going to make use of the opportunity of standing, being allowed to, given this platform, okay, to utilize it to evolving myself. That will be the next. Okay. So that's how you have to start. Okay. So that's what I would like. That's why you have to always start from ground. Like, the ground, not the grahas and stuff. Like, no. That's like, yeah, I mean, that's why when people go to that, that's why they get very confused and stuff, like, and all of that, like, that's where the confusion happens from, because you always start from the ground. Okay.
Yeah, like
And
houses, you start with the
and
foundation.
it'll be wrong teaching. Anybody who's teaching you that is ungrounding you. Okay. And that will not be a proper guru. Like, it will not qualify as a guru. Okay. If anyone does that kind of mistake, and it doesn't make you start from the
Round one.
ground, like, okay, then that is not right. Like, and all rishis and in any Vedic times would always start from that. Always. There will be no that things where that wouldn't be the case. Exceptions to this. Like, so that is just the basic framework, I think, which people need to understand. And then after that comes the concept of continuity. Like, okay, like, so, like, okay, someone can understand this and feel like that for 2 minutes or 5 minutes, but that's not enough. Like, you have to have that approach all the time.
You're standing 24/7.
Yes, 24/7, 365. You have to have that approach all the time. It's not like suddenly you forget that.
Take it for granted.
Take it for granted, or suddenly it doesn't exist. Okay. So once you are continuous in that, okay, then you create a coherent wave within yourself. You are coherent from that point, like Jim said, about that. Okay, some basic core issue, Jim said, which then helps you climb the other steps of the ladder. Okay. If you don't do the basic, that, because when you're climbing a ladder, like, one foot has to be very firm on the other to move to the second, that thing. Okay. You need to have that very. So that's the same principle which applies here. So that's where the concept of coherence comes in. Like, it comes in at any level where continuity is required. Like, you have to be continuous. It's not a matter of just like understanding something intellectually for just 2 minutes. Like, it is actually practicing that. Okay. So if somebody is being grateful for being on earth, any person on earth, you can take any person, and if they are feeling like that, it'll be very hard for them to do wrong actions.
Yes. Very
I mean, you can take this to any person or being on earth, like, and if they are feeling like that, they are grateful, like to just be, and not use the word thankful, because like I've explained in my book why thankful is not the right word. Grateful is the right word to use. Okay. So, like, if you're feeling grateful about the fact that you've been allowed to stand here, and given this opportunity to evolve yourself, then your whole mindset changes. Okay. And the being which tells you that, that thing, that's the guru thing, that's the guru principle. Then you have to have respect for the guru principle. Okay. Without that, no deities, no that thing will ever like want to hear anything from you, or they don't want to. Basically, it's like all lines are closed, access denied in computer terms. Okay, like it's access denied only after that. Okay.
First things first.
Yeah, and if you don't like, access denied, basically it's very simple. Like there's no point. Like that's why when people are doing these mantras to deities and different kind of things, and just in Sanskrit, which I've spoken before, they're speaking what they don't even know what they're saying. All of that does not work. This is not a gimmick. In the multiverse, gimmicks don't work. Okay, only real actual work works. Okay.
You can't fool the multiverse.
Yeah, you cannot, like, you just cannot, like, so that's why gimmicks don't work. I mean, that will all come under, in Sanskrit it's called pakhand. Okay. There's a word like, okay, so in English there is no exact equivalent of that. Okay. Yeah, but pretension, sort of, and so there is a like, so that kind of thing does not work. You have to have this. Okay. And you have to have this feeling. So that, what to me is a feeling of reverence only. Then you will be reverential towards Bhudevi. Then would you be spitting on it? Like, like this. If you have that attitude, you won't be.
Yes, true.
It's automatic. Like the way you will treat, way you'll deal with the whole thing will automatically change. Yeah. You won't try to pollute it. You won't try to put poisons into it. You won't try to do any. You won't automatically not do these things.
Yeah, like you said, it gives you a common sense to.
Yeah, I mean, it's a starting point. So that's, without this, that's why I'm just telling you, like, all of that, like, none of that will work. Trying to connect with deities in any part of the world, like whatever, like whether the Egyptian deities or Vedic deities, or whether they are Babylonian deities, whether they are whatever the deities, Nordic deities, or any around the world. I'm not talking about any specific part here. Like, I'm just saying that without that, you cannot take a step forward. Like, like you just cannot, because that's your situation. You are here, and you have to show that thing first here. And that's what is missing. And beings are neither grateful for the opportunity here, neither grateful to anyone who teaches them the right thing. Okay. So where the deities and stuff are not even, like, there's no point even going there.
That's why we keep coming back repeatedly into this matrix to learn this.
Yeah. Like, and you cannot bypass everything and just connect to some deity, because deity will ask you, why are you bypassing all of this? What is all this? Okay, even if you're doing reference to me, or like whatever, he or she or it, it'll say, like, but you're standing somewhere. Where is that? Do you know where you're standing at? Like, and what about that? Like, all of that. So, that's the thing. So people have to understand this, like, very, very clearly. And so the ritual attitude starts from there. And after that, if you have that for the, like, where the ground you're standing on, most likely after that you will develop it for the being who tells you the right things to the guru principle. Next. And once you become a being like that, then you will become a very different being from majority of the beings here right now on earth, and how they behave. And your behavior will change, your body language will change, your countenance will change, everything about you will change, and that's the main thing. And that's why like real gurus should have connection with nature. Like right now the gurus don't have to have any connection with nature. Nature doesn't have to respond to them. They have to nothing to do with nature, because this basic first step has not been there. So people don't even know who Guru is anymore. People don't even know who's telling the right thing or who's not. Okay. Like that basic sense also will come from this thing first. Because once by doing that, your connection with nature will automatically start. Once you're grateful for standing here, your connection with the rest, the plants and that things and the birds and the thing, trees and all of that, that will just start automatically from this basic that thing. And so you just say that, and you keep on repeating that, and you keep on feeling grateful like that, like every time you are that thing, morning, evening, afternoon. So that's a good, just like it can be another sort of thing which you repeat. Just like I told you about, I'm a being and I want my well-being. Okay, that kind of affirmation and that repetition is required here about these things. Until then, you'll have no sense to even know what is a guru, or and how to show reverence to any force in this multiverse.
Higher than us.
Yeah, or any force at all. In this the higher. So the whole concept of higher and divine and everything starts from this basic ground which you're standing on right now. And why is that ground there? What is its purpose? Why are you standing here? Okay, why are you allowed to stand here? All these questions get answered.
You take so many things for granted, just like it's all around us, but people are blind to it.
Yes, but unless you become conscious of this, you're not going anywhere. So I think that's enough for people to understand for this thing. I just want this point to be very, very clearly understood. So that'll be enough. And next time we will talk about coherence, in our next talk, like how continuity leads to coherence and what exactly is coherence, right? So I think, but this is the thing which
we all have to first start with.
Yeah, start with just the ground, just and reverence towards it, and that's a mantra only. Actually, this gratefulness is a mantra which anyone can start with, in their own language. Again, it doesn't have to be in Sanskrit. It can be in English, any whatever, Hindi, whatever language they want to. Okay, but this has to be done. Okay, I mean, if they want to evolve, if they want their well-being, again, if you don't want your well-being, then you can do whatever.
Something you said about how to develop a relationship. You said you have to show interest. The first thing is you show interest to, so each one has to find a way to develop their own relationship with Bhudevi.
Yeah, but obviously that fact that you're grateful for being allowed to stand, that's a very core basic thing for that. No one can bypass that point. Yeah, like afterwards, they, when you have a tree, you can have different kinds of fruits and leaves and stuff. That's a different matter. Okay, but the roots all go into the ground. Okay, so this part nobody can. That thing, nobody can not have this and progress further. That's not possible. Just like water will not boil unless there's a fire below. It's as simple as that. It is just can't be bypassed. There are things which can't be bypassed, and that's the basic core root. That's why it's called a core root thing. So that's how the beginning of reverence, what I would call. Because that was our topic, reverence. So that is that's the beginning of it, and from there we can develop it further.
The current events, the way Bhudevi is responding with her fury, is a result of everybody showing that disrespect,
irreverent attitude, and it has been there. You know it. You have seen it like around the world. It has there. Like nobody can deny it. Nobody can deny that. That is.
The way to correct it is by showing reverence, and each one should start doing the grounding thing first.
Yeah, and grounding and actually having this attitude. Look, I am being allowed to stand here.
The attitude of gratitude first.
Yeah, attitude of gratitude. Yeah, like, and and then that's why I can do anything.
Yes.
You can't do anything falling.
Yes. I've never done bungee jumping, but I would imagine that if anybody is jumping from up there, they couldn't wait to touch ground. I mean,
yeah.
once we do that, once we are there, we have to have that respect that we have this place to stand on.
Yeah.
We can't be continuously in that state of falling.
Yeah. Then there's nothing you can do. Yeah. So even all this realization is a big thing. Okay, it's not just known to people. That's where one starts totally. So okay.
So I think we'll keep it to the basics today and just and then next time we'll talk about coherence.
Coherence, yes. Okay.
So grateful, Prash. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Namaskar.